بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وأعنا على العمل بما علمتنا. O Allah, we ask you to teach us or benefit us, and let us benefit from what we learn and increase our knowledge. We continue today, alhamdulillah, with our series, Knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is lesson number 31. Today, inshallah, we are going to talk about one of Allah's name and character, Al-Muhaymin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran Kareem, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن. The name Al-Muhaymin has several translations in English. It means the protector, the guardian, the dominant, the controlling, the overseer. Inshallah, to proceed with our halaqah today, we're going to use the name the dominant. And of course, we're going to explain the meaning of this name. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Muhaymin. He is the dominant. He is the controller of everything. And to be the controller and the dominant over everything, you have to have the knowledge, the perfect knowledge of everything, has the perfect power to do anything, under the absolute perfect wisdom to do anything. So one of the meaning and the indication of the name Al-Muhaymin, the dominant, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the perfect knowledge, Al-Alim, has no limit, has the perfect power, has no limit, and has the absolute perfect wisdom. Only good things comes from it. Also, Al-Muhaymin, the dominant, means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and witness and follow everything. Whether it is hidden, seen, obvious, it's not obvious, what's the real intentions behind what people do, what people think. He knows what's hidden and what's obvious. Also, one of the meaning of the Al-Muhaymin, the dominant, the controller, the overseer, is that he fulfills the needs of the ones whom he controls. So all his creation, all their needs, or our needs, are fully fulfilled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala under this name. Also, Al-Muhaymin, the controller, the overseer, the guardian, the dominant, is with his mercy and with his love for his creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created Adam alayhi salam, and He created us, He loves us. He wants us to be in Jannah. He wants us to be the perfect worshippers. When you made something with yourself, with your hands, don't you want it to be the best and be proud of it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is dominant and controller, but by His mercy and by His love for His creation. He wants our happiness. So He guides us to the way of happiness in this life and in the life after. Also, another meaning of this name Al-Muhaymin, or the dominant, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not just create and just let go. So people and creations do whatever they want, and then He'll say in the Day of Judgment, I'll call you back, and then we see what you did. No. Allah creates, and He controls, He runs His creation, and all of His creation is going to go back to them. He just gave us the freedom of choice. That if we choose to do something, whatever it is, good or bad, He would allow it to happen, if He wants to. But rest assured that He is the dominant over all our actions. You know, the manufacturer of a car, they will manufacture the car, they own that car, they made that car, but after they sell it to someone else, they have no control over it. Allah creates, runs, and everything belongs to Him. That's one of His meaning, al-muhaymin, the controller, the guardian. So He did not just create and just let go. And He said, I will see you later in the Day of Judgment. No, He's always with us. He is controlling our actions second by second. And also to be the dominant, that's mean He follows His creation all the time. He is with His creation all the time. He is the dominant and the controller. There is so no escape from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, some Muslims, some people think that, you know, when they see the events happening in the world and everything happen, you know, where's Allah? You know, where's, you know, they get shaken from the inside, like Allah doesn't know what's going on. Allah knows everything, and He let it happen. So that's one of the meaning of al-muhaymin, the dominant. He is with His creation all the time. Also one of the meaning of al-muhaymin, and this requires a little bit of thinking and understanding it. Allah knows what happened. Everything. Okay? So His knowledge is perfect, absolute. He knows everything. He knows what happened in the past. He knows what is happening now. And He knows what is happening or what will happen in the future. And He knows what it did not happen, if it would happen, how it is going to happen. If we imagine we would be with 10 heads instead of one, how are we going to look like and how are we going to act like? Allah knows. It didn't happen now, but if it would happen, Allah knows how it happens. So even the things that did not happen, if it would happen, Allah knows how it's going to happen and the form it's going to happen. So His knowledge is perfect in all aspects. And one very important application of this name, Al-Muhaymin, that's mean He controls everything. He is in charge of everything you see around you. Believers, non-believers, Muslims, non-Muslims, earth, sky, animals, everything is under Allah's control. He is the dominant one. So, when His true believers speak about Him according to His book Al-Quran and to the true Sunnah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that person wins all the time. When they talk with other people about the facts of this creation, about Allah's creation, when that person uses the Quran and the true Sunnah, in its true understanding, meaning in any argument, in any discussion, that person is always wins. Even though the other party does not believe. That's their problems. But he always wins. In the debate, whatever it is. So if it looks to you that a debate between a Muslim and a non-Muslim, and you feel like the non-Muslim wins, that's probably because the Muslim one did not use the true Quran, the true Sunnah. Now, people is going to come and say, no, this is not right, this is wrong, this is what you said is wrong. But in the inside, they know it's the truth. Look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ. They rejected the truth. The prophets came and told them, Allah has one. They heard that. So these people rejected. They said, no, you're liars. وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ. But themselves, they were convinced that is the truth. But why they didn't believe? Because of earthly gains. Fir'aun, before he dies, he realized. But sometimes, and actually not a lot of times, arrogance. That is the barrier that prevents people from listening to the truth. But when you speak with the tongue of the Quran and the true Sunnah, you feel good inside when you tell the truth, even when people don't believe you. Allah gives you that power inside. You delivered the message. Then it's their choice whether to believe or not. But sometimes if you start talking about subject you're not really sure of, you kind of like, you don't feel good about it. You're going to hesitate. But when you talk in the Quran, the true Sunnah, Allah give you that power that you present the facts, you present the truth, and Allah will support with you. Whether or not the other party believe it or not, that's their choice, because they have a choice just like you. So Allah give that power to the true believer, because He is the controller. And that's, you see, like in the worldly events, all the wars and everything, we see the calamities and everything, and you hear different people have different interpretations. Why this is happening, why this is happening, why this is happening. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all explained it in the Quran al-Kareem. Everything you see, there is nothing hidden. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not talk about it, that means it didn't do nothing. But anything that affects our life, Allah talks about it. So all the events in this world, from Adam until the Day of Judgment, wars, killing, not killing, winning, this group, that group, it's all explained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People don't want to hear it. People don't want to believe it. That's their problems. SubhanAllah, the other day I was talking with somebody about the events happening in the Middle East in one country, and he said, there is one person that he really wants bad things happening to that area. And I'm like, really? That's his interpretation of what's going on. One person decided to do all bad things for that area. But where's Allah? So they're always chasing earthly causes. Read the Quran, see what the one who created these events is telling you what it's about. Because He is the controller. He is the dominant. These events that's happening, it didn't happen because He was taking a nap. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. He doesn't sleep, He doesn't take naps. Allah knows. Allah let it happen, and Allah had for you, the true believer, the right interpretation of what's happening. Because He is the dominant, He is the controller. Some examples, kind of a reminder stories that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about. You know, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and this is kind of also give us an example of the argument. When he talked with that king about the creation, and then Ibrahim alayhi salam, he presented the facts, the truth to him, you know. He said, Allah bring the sun from the east, can you bring it from the west? فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. You know, that king says, I don't know, that's true, I can't bring it, so I'm not God. But in spite of that, what did they do to him? Even though he presented the facts, even though when he destroyed the statues, and he told him, why don't you ask that big one? He saw what happened. Let them tell you who did this. And they looked and thought. They said, man, we're really kind of dumb here. I mean, this is stone, doesn't talk. So they knew it. Despite that, they put the fire and they want to kill Ibrahim alayhi salam. See the arrogant? Even though he presented the facts. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? The dominant. So He ordered that fire to be peace on Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because He's the controller. I mean, he got to the degree where they actually throw him into the fire. They didn't just threaten. Then like they threatened, they lightened the fire and then a rain came. No. He said, do it all the way. Put him inside the fire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the fire to be peace on Ibrahim alayhi salam. Another example, Musa alayhi salam. فَأَلْقِيهِ فِي الْيَمِّ. Allah gave intuition to his mother to throw the baby in the river. I mean, imagine a mother with a newborn and you come to her and say, look, if you're really scared about your son, about your baby, here, put him in the box and put him in Arkansas River. It doesn't even make logic. A baby in the box in the river. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dominant. Is the dominant. He gave her the intuition and she followed it. Even after he was in the river, he landed at the Pharaoh's beach. So he is the dominant, he is the control of everything. All the events, everything happens in Allah's hand, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yunus alayhi salam, when he swallowed by the whale, at the end of that ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. He made it Allah in this universe, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of His true believer no matter what problems they go into. Now you're going to be tested, you're going to go through hardships, but at the end, they know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-muhaymin, is the dominant, is the controller. He will get me out of this. And even, sometimes you talk to people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him to the right path. We ask Allah to mix all of us with them. And they tell you about some events in their lives where everything is closed. It got so bad. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the doors open. And everything solved. And everything went fine. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just to show His true believer some of the meaning of His name Al-Muhaymin, the dominant. Some other practical aspect of this name. As a true Muslim, as true believers, a true believer should know what is the status of his or her iman. The status of his or her relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With that status, you will be able to be the controller of yourself, of your desires. And control your desires your self-desires into what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do. And in these days it's really hard, but it is very rewarding. Because everywhere you look, there is fitna, there's bad things happening. I mean, even if you want to go to the store to buy something, there's always something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be pleased with if you go through it. So knowing the status of your belief makes you in a way to be in control of yourself. Only do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to do. And on control of your heart. So only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in your heart, not the earth, not this life, not money. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And be on control with your body parts. Al-jawarih, your arms and your hands and your tongue and your ears. Everything used for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't look at something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says don't look at. You don't listen to something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says don't listen at. You don't do something with your arms or your hands that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says don't do it. And on control of your mind. So your mind is free of all these wrong ideas, wrong beliefs, wrong creeds that control people's mind. So, understanding, just thinking a little bit about this name and this character of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the controller, He is the dominant. Don't you want to be with somebody like this all the time? That He controls everything on you and everybody else. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and He knows what we think. He said in the Quran Kareem, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالمون إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار. I mean, this ayah, subhanallah, it is so heartwarming, especially these days. Allah is saying He only delayed them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He never. And never think that Allah is unaware of what the wrongdoers do. Never think that. He only delays them for the day where their eyes will be staring with horror to the day of judgment. You know, sometimes we look at the events happening, you know, this has been happening for years. People killed, children killed, you know, houses destroyed. Until when? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you here. Don't ever think that Allah is unaware. He is aware. And He knows. And this is just a test for everybody. So when people say, where's Allah? Allah is always here. Allah is always with us. Allah is always aware of what's going on. It's just a matter of test. I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about people in the past. Just because they believed in Him, in one God, fire will be turned on and people will be thrown in it just because they said La ilaha illallah. A saw will be put in the middle of their head and cut in half just because they say La ilaha illallah. So this is nothing new. It happened in the past. And the true rewards, the true thing is not in this life. Because we're all going to die one way or the other. And sometimes some form of death, even though you're laying in bed, is a lot more painful than a little bit of torture. So, Don't think that Allah is not aware. Allah is aware and know. Why? Because He is Al-Muhaymin. He is the dominant and He is the controller. And He is the overseers of everything. And this is where comes the true belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you never ever have a single, as a smallest doubt about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is sad. If you can help, help. But always remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And nothing just go by Him just because there's an arrogant somewhere decided to kill people or decided to bomb people, or they're not in control. Allah let them do this for a reason. So do your part. This could be just a test for us to see what we can do. Can we help if you can? Or you just sit there and listen? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the dominant, al-muhaymin, the controller. He is with us. He controls every aspect of our lives, and He is with us. And everything happen, rest assured Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control of it, and He let it happen. So let's all inshaAllah be with the muhaymin, the control inshaAllah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.